I just wanted to give up. Hey, I'm struggling, I need some help. My body just completely shut down. I was completely overwhelmed and I reached burnout. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be looking at how to look after your mental health throughout the medical or dental school application process. Applying to medical or dental school is no easy task. There is a lot of work and preparation that is required, and many students prepare anything from a year to a year and a half in advance, which means that you'll be studying and preparing for this for quite a long period of time. I remember when I was applying to medical school, well, I actually applied to medical school twice. The first time that I applied, I really did not spend a lot of time on the application. It was very rushed, and I think I did it in 2 to 3 months, which was nowhere near enough time for me. The second time that I did it though, I did spend a lot longer on it, and it was a much stronger application because I put so much more effort and preparation into it. Although looking back, I remember feeling really lonely when I went through the application process, and that's because I hadn't been in education for quite a while actually. I had graduated from my undergraduate degree maybe 3 years prior, and I didn't know any medical students, I didn't know any doctors, I didn't know anyone else that was applying to medical school, so I felt like I didn't really have many people who understood what I was going through and what that journey was like. People don't really get why you're spending all of your evenings and all of your weekends preparing for an exam and writing a personal statement. Like, they just think, how hard could it possibly be? But this is something that I see time and time again with students. You often underestimate how much there is to do. It's not something that you can just come up with overnight. You really have to put a lot of effort into the application, especially if you want to get into your dream medical or dental school. Something else I really struggled with was finding resources. Everything is online, but in completely different corners of the internet. I spent hours and hours looking through university websites, trying to find requirements and trying to find resources that would help me prepare. As time went on throughout that journey, I found myself feeling not just lonely, but also really discouraged, and like I just wanted to give up. And that was probably because I didn't really have the right measures in place to help me overcome that and to make sure that I was resilient throughout the entire process. But I know that's not just my experience. Mental health experts actually emphasize that your emotional well-being is directly related to your success. In other words, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to look after your mental health. It is totally okay to feel overwhelmed, and you probably will feel overwhelmed throughout the process, but the reality is a career in medicine is demanding and it is stressful. And you think that the hardest part is just getting into medical school, and then you get in and you realize, oh my goodness, I'm going to be doing this for a very long time. But even beyond your medical school training, as you do your junior doctor years and then specialist training up to consultancy, stress is part of that because of the nature of the degree. So the sooner that we learn how to look after ourselves and manage that stress, the better, because it's going to set up a really good foundation and it's going to allow you to use skills that you'll be using for the rest of your career. Okay, so let's talk about self-care a little bit. I cannot stress enough how important looking after yourself is. Self-care is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. It's something that you must prioritize if you want to be resilient and make it right through to the end of this process. I actually realized this in my first year. Coming up to my first year exams, I was completely overwhelmed and I reached burnout. And this was not something that I had ever experienced before. I had sat exams, I had a degree already, I had been in high stress situations, but I'd never burnt out the way that I did then. My body just completely shut down, and for about a week, I could not study, I could not do anything. It was so bad. And I realized that that was because I hadn't taken any time out for myself to look after myself and my well-being for weeks. And I was obviously studying so hard. I had all of this pressure that I was placing on myself and the stress of exams. it was just not a good place for me. And I learned then that I had to look after myself. I really had to prioritize my mental and my physical well-being if I was going to make it through the rest of my career. Now, I'm really happy to say that that didn't happen in my second year. Why? Because I prioritized my self-care. Now, before I go into sharing some tips about how you can manage your well-being, I just want to stress the importance of having a long-term perspective again. The journey to becoming a doctor is a long and a demanding one, so the sooner that you find ways and techniques and different methods to help you look after yourself, it's going to set you up for many years to come. Okay, so let's talk about some practical strategies that you can use to help you throughout your medical or dental school application process. Tip number 1 is time management, and I would argue that this is probably one of the most important things that you learn to do, to manage your time effectively so that you are productive in the long run. This is something that I have learned to do, and I use calendars and to-do lists pretty much every single day to run my entire life. Let's say that you are applying in October next year. What I would highly recommend is that whatever date it is today, that you would sit down and think, okay, how long do I have from now until the application date? Let's say you have 10 months. This will then allow you to slot everything that you're doing in your life into those 10 months so that you can foresee any problems that you might have. And so you can be realistic about how much time you're going to have to prepare. My second tip is to seek support. Don't be shy to reach out to people and to let them know what you're going through. This is something that I didn't do. I felt lonely and I really didn't do anything about it throughout the journey. And I know that that was a mistake because there were people that I could have reached out to, that I could have spoken to, that would have helped me not feel so discouraged throughout the application process. Now, you definitely don't have to make that mistake. Reach out to your friends, to your family, if you know any medical students or any doctors. And even if you don't, that's okay. You can still reach out to whoever you have around you. Sharing your concerns and seeking advice can really help to relieve your emotional burdens and help you to release everything that you're feeling inside, and this is going to help so much. This is something that FutureDoc can offer you. If you are looking for one-on-one support, then definitely check out our website. But we also have a ton of resources available all in one place so that you don't have to feel the same way that I did throughout the application process. Number 3 is to have self-compassion. Going through this journey, as I say, is not easy. There's a lot of pressure and it's very intense, and very often we are our own worst critics. We set ourselves really high standards and often setbacks can be really tough. But remember to be kind to yourself. You've made it this far, and being able to be compassionate towards yourself will give you the grace that you need to take breaks when you need them. I also often use different relaxation techniques, particularly when I feel very stressed and overwhelmed. Things like controlling my breathing or doing different types of meditation really helps me and helps me to ground myself and reduce stress levels in that moment. Incorporating these techniques can be really helpful if you tend to be anxious, and things like deep breathing can help to keep you calm even in the most stressful situations. Tip number 5 is to stay active. There are so many benefits to physical activity. Moving your body, going out for a walk, for a run, going to the gym, playing tennis, going for a swim, any kind of physical activity is going to help you so much. Again, I would highly recommend that you take time to plan this into your life. Plan this into your calendar so that it is a non-negotiable for you. So that every week or even every day you have some time when you can de-stress, you can relax, and you can take some time for yourself. Finally, tip number 6 is to seek professional help. Now, if you are struggling and you're not able to cope with everything by yourself, then that is okay. And it's important that you realize that you're not alone, that there is help that is available for you to seek. Professional help and professional guidance can be really beneficial for some people. And this is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a strength to be able to say, hey, I'm struggling, I need some help. So in conclusion, looking after your mental health is testament to your strength and self-awareness. You are not alone in this journey, and there are so many things that you can do to really help you throughout this process. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you're interested in finding more about the journey to medical school and how FutureDoc can support you, then check out these videos and check out our website for more information. See you guys next time.